The facade of perfection. We've all been there, scrolling, comparing. We see the highlight reels of others' lives perfectly filtered and curated. It's easy to compare our messy reality with their flawless narratives, but deep down, we know it's not the whole picture. We're seeing a carefully constructed facade, edited to present the best angles. Yet, we still fall prey to the comparison game. Why? Because we seek connection and measure ourselves against others. In the digital age, it's easy to believe everyone else has it figured out. Richard Feynman said, "The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool." This statement holds profound truth. We are indeed the easiest person to fool, especially about ourselves. We construct narratives to protect our egos and maintain control. This essay explores self-deception, its roots, and its consequences. We will explore how self-deception manifests in everyday life. But this is not a journey into despair. We will also explore pathways to truth, drawing inspiration from Catholic thought and liberalism. 2. The anatomy of self-deception. Self-deception is a complex phenomenon, deeply intertwined with our basic human need to protect our sense of self. It's not always a conscious act. Often it operates subtly, just below our awareness. We convince ourselves we're being realistic, twisting the narrative to fit our desired outcome. Cognitive biases play a significant role in perpetuating self-deception. Confirmation bias leads us to seek out information that confirms our beliefs. We accept evidence that supports our viewpoint while dismissing contradictory information. Motivated reasoning drives us to justify our beliefs and actions. We become skilled at defending our own case, avoiding cognitive dissonance. From a Catholic perspective, this tendency reflects our inherent imperfection. It's a reminder of the importance of humility and self-awareness. Liberalism emphasizes individual autonomy and critical thought. Self-deception hinders personal growth and societal progress. It prevents meaningful dialogue and collaborative efforts for a just society. Theory 3. The bitter harvest consequences of illusion. The consequences of self-deception can be far-reaching, impacting not only our personal lives but also the fabric of society as a whole. On a personal level, clinging to illusions can lead to a host of problems, from strained relationships and missed opportunities to more serious issues like addiction and mental health challenges. Consider, for instance, the individual trapped in a cycle of addiction. They may tell themselves they can quit any time, that they're in control, even as their life unravels around them. This self-deception allows them to maintain a semblance of normalcy, to avoid the painful reality of their situation. Similarly, in unhealthy relationships, we might convince ourselves that our partner will change, that things will get better, even in the face of repeated red flags and mounting evidence to the contrary. This self-deception, while painful in the long run, provides a temporary shield from the fear of being alone, the uncertainty of starting over. On a societal level, widespread self-deception can have even more dire consequences. When large segments of a population cling to comforting but false narratives, it creates fertile ground for polarization, misinformation, and injustice to flourish. We see this play out in the political sphere, where echo chambers and confirmation bias run rampant, making it increasingly difficult to have productive conversations and find common ground. We see it in the spread of misinformation and disinformation online, where people are more likely to believe information that aligns with their existing worldview, regardless of its veracity. Both Catholic and liberal traditions recognize the importance of seeking truth and justice, not only for individual flourishing, but also for the common good. Self-deception, in its many forms, becomes a stumbling block on this path, hindering our ability to build a more just, compassionate, and equitable society. The antidote: embracing truth through introspection. So how do we break free from the clutches of self-deception? How do we cultivate a life grounded in truth, both in our personal lives and in our interactions with the world around us? The first step, and perhaps the most challenging, is cultivating a practice of introspection. This involves turning inward, examining our thoughts, beliefs, and motivations with a critical and compassionate eye. It's about asking ourselves difficult questions, the kind that make us squirm a little, the kind we often avoid. Practices like mindfulness can be invaluable in this journey. By learning to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment, we create space for greater self-awareness. Journaling can also be a powerful tool for introspection, providing a safe space to explore our inner landscape without censorship or judgment. It's also essential to seek feedback from trusted sources, people who know us well and are willing to offer honest and compassionate reflections. This can be uncomfortable, even scary at times, but it's essential for breaking free from the echo chamber of our own thoughts. The power of dialogue. Challenging our illusions. Introspection alone, however, is not enough. To truly combat self-deception, we need to engage in meaningful dialogue with others, especially those who hold different views and perspectives. This aligns with the liberal value of free speech and open discourse, recognizing that the best way to test the strength of our own beliefs is to expose them to the scrutiny of others. This doesn't mean we need to engage in every debate or argue every point. It's about approaching conversations with a spirit of curiosity and a willingness to listen, truly listen, to perspectives that challenge our own. It's about recognizing that we don't have all the answers, that our perspective is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. This can be uncomfortable, even unsettling at times. It requires us to hold our own beliefs with an open hand, to be willing to modify or even abandon them, if presented with compelling evidence or a more nuanced perspective. Service, the path to humility and clarity. Engaging in acts of service and compassion can also be a powerful antidote to self-deception. When we shift our focus from our own needs and desires to the needs of others, it provides a much-needed dose of perspective. Service has long been a cornerstone of Catholic social teaching, emphasizing the interconnectedness of humanity and the call to love and serve our neighbor. This resonates with the liberal value of social responsibility, recognizing that we have a moral obligation to contribute to the well-being of our communities and to work towards a more just and equitable society. Whether it's volunteering at a local soup kitchen, mentoring a young person, or simply lending a listening ear to someone in need, acts of service have a way of humbling us, of reminding us that we are not the center of the universe. This shift in perspective can be incredibly powerful in breaking down the walls of self-deception, allowing us to see ourselves and the world around us with greater clarity and compassion. Education, illuminating the path to truth. Finally, we must never underestimate the power of education in our pursuit of truth. This involves a commitment to lifelong learning, to constantly expanding our knowledge base and challenging our assumptions. Both Catholic and liberal traditions place a high value on education, recognizing it as essential for personal growth, intellectual development, and the advancement of society. In an age of information overload, it's more important than ever to develop critical thinking skills, to be able to discern truth from falsehood, and to navigate the complexities of the world with wisdom and discernment. This involves seeking out diverse perspectives, engaging with challenging material, and being willing to question the status quo. It's about cultivating a healthy skepticism, not to dismiss everything we encounter, but to approach information with a discerning eye, always asking questions, seeking evidence, and being open to revising our understanding in light of new information. Conclusion: a call to authenticity. The journey to self-truth is not a destination but a lifelong practice. It's a commitment to living with authenticity, to aligning our actions with our values and to showing up in the world as our most genuine selves. It's a journey fraught with challenges, with moments of discomfort and uncertainty. But it's also a journey filled with growth, with the deep satisfaction that comes from living in alignment with our core values. As we conclude this exploration of self-deception and the pursuit of truth, let us remember the words of Richard Feynman. The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. Let us approach ourselves and the world around us with a spirit of curiosity, humility, and a deep commitment to uncovering truth, both within ourselves and in the world around us. For in the words of the ancient Greek aphorism, "Know thyself," lies the key to unlocking our full potential and creating a more just, compassionate, and enlightened world.